Hello, everybody. It must be Monday. It must be Monday because it is time for the Maw of Mike, and I am all gefunkt right now. And that's it for all our big announcements. Can you believe we got that license? Oh my God, I can't believe it. So that's it. I'll see you all next. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wrong show. Okay. Hey everybody, we had a brief muting accident. This in the words of Sheriff Brody, this was no muting accident. No, but we are back right now, and yes, I'm just joking. So, it's a little punch. We're a little punchy here because it is I think I'm still on UK time, so it's probably something like 4 in the morning right now for me, and it's like the wrong Monday. It's not the first Monday of the month where we usually do this. Week is actually the second Monday of the month, and we're just trying to figure out what the heck is going on. So thank you all for tuning in. And this is, in case you missed it during the tragic muting accident, this is Maw of Mike. This is the show which takes a look at what's happening in the world of Dungeon Crawl Classics and its associated neighbors, and we bring all that information to you. So thank you for tuning in. And it's June, so as you know, June is Free RPG Month. So we are going to be spending a little time taking a look at this year's Free RPG Day, what we've got in store for you there, and we've also have in this coming week we have some road crew stuff going on, so we're going to talk about that, and we've got some third-party business happening, and we'll be discussing that as well. So I appreciate your patience of not only having to wait an extra week for me to kind of get back to where I was going, and the fact that I was abruptly muted. And the show definitely paused. I think we're all together there. So but it's good to be back with you people, and I am going to take a quick break and pull the first person out of Carbonite and put them out of here on the stage, and we're going to get things rolling. Okay. So we'll be back in just a few moments. So, and I promise we will be back. So hold on, and we'll see you in a couple. Hey everybody, I am joined by Mr. Brendan LaSalle, my partner in crime from Keep Crawling with Mike and Brendan, which this show is not. So Brendan, welcome.
Welcome. Thanks so much for having me on.
Thank you for coming on.
Hello, everyone.
It's not like I haven't seen enough of you in
I know, right?
weeks, so yeah. So you like myself were over in England for just it seems so brief ago, but yet so long ago. So
Boy, yeah, it was. And what a fantastic time we had, huh?
that was absolutely amazing. I think
Yeah.
what we do, we'll be covering it in more detail on a future episode of Keep Crawling, because we had absolutely fantastic time.
Mm.
The road crew over there is absolutely amazing. Big props out to Bruce for kind of being our liaison over there.
Bruce.
Julian and Lee and David and everybody else who was helped to welcome us back after what, like three-year absence. Like I think we were 2019
Yep.
was the last time we was officially over there, right? No.
Exactly. Yeah, 2019 was the first time the Goodman games went over with the full booth and everything. I had gone before solo, but that was the first time we were there with like a crew. And then of course COVID and lockdown, so we missed many years. I think they didn't actually have a show in 2020, but they did come back in 2021. But everyone who was there said this was the first year it felt normal again. So
Right.
because we were there.
I think it's kind of like the same thing with Gen Con. I think Gen Con
Mhm.
was back last year, but you could tell that it wasn't full-fledged Gen Con. So it wasn't people obviously still a little leery about mass crowds and everything, which was as we were talking before the show, none of the Goodman crew got sick. So this was like the first con in a long time where everybody made it back. So I think it was all the bangers and mash. I think we consumed. I think it was enough to shake everything off. So
So much Marmite.
it was the curry. But I think the curry just
Oh,
the heck out of everything. So
yeah. We did eat up. Oof.
But we'll dig into that next month because it's a crazy schedule. Yet again, we're next next week. Next week is Origins, believe it or not. So
Oh, I believe it.
yeah, Brendan's falling asleep already. I know it's past your bedtime. So Brendan, let's talk road crew, man.
That's absolutely talk road crew.
Okay, all right. So I've heard word on the street that this coming, is it tomorrow or is it that there's a road rally in our near future?
Exactly. Road Crew Rally is tomorrow, and I'm already psyched about that. So I hope everybody will tune in for that tomorrow night. So we're gonna, we're gonna talk Road Crew, talk about upcoming programs, talk about how amazing the Road Crew has already been this year. Super big thanks, shout out, special guests. I got the Dark Master himself showing up on my show for tomorrow, which is just going to be how cool is that, right?
Right.
You know,
he's checking up on you.
Yeah.
So for the people who are tuning in or watching this, asynchronously later on when after you want to give the lowdown on what exactly the Road Crew is and what a Road Crew rally is?
Absolutely.
Not know what the heck we're talking about. No.
Sure. So the Road Crew is a program through Goodman Games that we have where we our Road Crew judges go out into the world and they run games. They run them at conventions, in stores, and other public things like game days, school programs. Also, you can run them on Twitch, have games show up on YouTube or do a podcast. All of those things, as long as it is public, with the idea is running games out in public so people take a look and see what Mutant Crawl Classics and all of our associated sister games look like and all of the great stuff that Goodman Game does. So, in return, we send y'all some very cool swag, give you some very cool opportunities. We have, all kinds of free stuff and things for our Road Crew members. We have swag, we have free adventures, and all kinds of other great and groovy stuff.
As I like it's our disorganized play program.
Bam! Exactly. It's like not like all hell breaking loose, but like it's like partially hell breaking loose, which is way more dangerous.
All heck,
Yeah. Because you can't keep track of it all, So it's fantastic. And if you're interested, if you're at home, you can email me direct, Brendan@goodman-games.com, and I'll give you the lowdown.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to ask you a trivia question here. All right. So you get the reports come through you. You see people. Where's the weirdest place that you've heard from a Road Crew? Where's the weirdest place they've run a game that you've heard about?
Yes. Someone casually mentioned to me
not match game. So
No. Somebody casually mentioned to me that they're running a game in the back of an adult bookstore, and I was like, oh. Carry on. I had no questions, no notes. Just I'm glad. That's there we go.
That is pretty strange. So
yeah. Another fellow was running at
Did they give the address of that room?
They did actually. This was some years ago, but that was a good one. It was that was a good one. We had another woman who was running at a big outdoor show, maybe Bumbershoot, one of the big outdoor concert venues, and she just set up in the back, put down a blanket, and ran games out there on a hill. Apparently, so that sounded really cool too.
I hope she was running Shutter Mountain games.
I do too. Hope she had a good voice, probably loud out there.
Hey, down in front, Tim White. I don't know the rest of all the adult bookstores. I mean, it could be on the West Coast. I wouldn't know that. All right. Anyway, so now that we've given the rundown of what the Road Crew is, what the heck's a Road Crew rally? I mean, it sounds like there should be monster trucks.
Yeah, there should be monster trucks. I should have one, and I should drive up with it and actually break through the screen like my opener. You know what I mean? I crush. We'd roll a D20, and that's how many cars I'd crush on the way into the, how fresh would that be? It's the Road Crew Rally. Everyone's going to tune in tomorrow, and we're going to go over what is coming up with the Road Crew. We're going to have a couple of Road Crew members show up and come in for a visit, and we're going to, I will talk about the program, talk about what's coming up, and answer your questions, and I really give my big thanks because it's been an absolutely amazing year already for the Road Crew. We have, I don't want to give the number out until tomorrow, but they sent me a report of how many more games we had this year than last year, and I was like, you want to go back and check your math? They were right. It's nuts. So I couldn't be more excited about the amount of participation that's going in this year. So a lot of it's going to be me saying thanks to people because I'm absolutely grateful. So.
And what's Joe coming on for? You going to berate you in public, or does he have
Joe's? I can only imagine he's coming on there to give you the dressing down that I deserve so badly. He's just had it with Mike Guff, and is going to he's going to come on there and talk about the road crew. We're going to talk about some other special things that are coming up that I'm not. But you know what? I would tune in. You're going to hear some stuff you haven't heard yet before. So,
okay. All right. So I would say, is there anything you want to tease on this show? But I don't want to take anything away from your show tomorrow. So
just one thing. I'll throw one thing out there for tonight because I just got the information myself. The first pit stop adventure for 2023 is going to be an exclusive adventure that will only be for the road crew. For the initially, I have a title, and it is In the Mouth of Chaos. So you want some of that. So so come join the road crew, check it out, and be a part.
And I have seen the adventure, and it's a fun one. So
nice,
it's a good one, especially we got some halflings around. So so that's cool. And so it's not only do you get swag for running games for the road pool, but you actually also starting this year get exclusive games too. So. And I have to say the road crew has been very helpful for actually they also get sneak peeks at stuff beforehand because the road crew has been helping out with the 2023 Gen Con tournament. I know we've got we pulled judges from there, and they're also, for the very first time, we are doing the Gen Con funnel experience. Which is going to be a 3 hours, not a tournament, but it's just basically if you have 3 hours to kind of figure out and sit down and play DCC for the first time for the 50th time, and the adventure is written by my man Brendan LaSalle there. So it is internationally known now because he was running that in at least Manchester. I got no witness in doing that. So this was this. I think we're still looking for a couple of judges. So if you were thinking about doing Gen Con and maybe you want to get a free badge and get a little bit of if you sign up to run some games, we'll help cover some of your lodgings and everything. All the information can be found on the Goodman Games website at goodman-games.com. So go there. It's still not too late. So perfect. So that's pretty awesome. I'm looking forward to that. You've got so one thing I want to bring up is, because this is something that happens at the end of the year, usually at the end of the year, the start of next year, there's kind of like the inner circle of the road crew as well. I mean, that's the road crew advisory board, correct? And they help steer the course of the coming year. Because you want to talk, give us a little information about that, because
sure,
people are interested to do that.
Yeah, so the Road Crew Advisory Board is we get our select elite circle of road crew members who come on, and then they help us do that, guide the program. We bounce ideas around with them. They're a fantastic bunch. So we do a different one for every year. So if you want to nominate someone for the 2024 Road Crew Advisory Board, once again, email me. I'll put my email in the chat. But email me and come and come and be a part of it. We really can use your feedback. Since we started doing this, it's made such dramatic improvements in the program and what all we can do. I can't even, it's amazing how the amount of great ideas we've gotten from folks who've been in the crew, been running road crew games for a while. So huge thanks, and send me nominations for next year. Okay,
all right, sounds good. Well, since you're on the show, let me double check some. Elena, do we have a certain graphic associated with Brendan? We do. Okay, I'm just taking a look at the show notes, and the problem when you put the show notes together at like late last night is I realized that certain things didn't make it on there. Just want to make sure we have it. So, well, so at this point, I would like to talk about. So this is the first sneak preview, kind of what we're going to be talking about. People have been asking for it for a little while, and in the near future, we're doing the finishing touches on it. We got some other stuff in the lot, but coming sometime in the near future, we are going to be releasing a Mutant Crawl Classic Quick Start Rules So I know there has been some desire for that for a little while. This is basically the same thing we've done for the Dungeon Crawl Classics. It's kind of a distilled version of it, enough to get you through zero to second level. And we've got a new adventure tucked in the back, a little adventure by the name of the Weirding Music of, I believe, it's Zocast Mountain.
Zocast Mountain,
And,
exactly.
and you can tell by the man who answered that question, it was written by Brendan LaSalle. So.
Hooray, yes. Yeah, Weirding Music of Zocast Mountain. It's a zero-level funnel for Mutant Crawl Classics, and I had a lot of fun writing it. Guys, it's like, it seems like a lifetime ago.
It was a while ago. It's something that's been on the work, but it's just one of those things that there's always something currently more on fire than this that has to be kind of addressed before.
Don't get me started.
So we finally got it through we almost got it, out the door and over the finish line. So I remember something what it's about. If you don't remember the general plot of it.
No, absolutely. So the general plot is that there's a village that lives at the base of Zocast Mountain, and after a horrific rainstorm, there's a mudslide that reveals a structure of the ancients, a crooked tower that seems to be getting ready to fall over. And once it is uncovered, it starts blasting out this strange music to the valley below, and this music starts to affect people's dreams. So as the elders take it as a sign, and they send a very young group of would-be seekers out there to go for their rite of passage, to go up there and investigate and see what all they can find. So.
And thus the body count begins, and eventually, toward the end, the lucky survivors come out with neat stuff, and
neat stuff.
First level character. So we will be, and the music, Surf and Bird. Yes, no, actually, I did actually have a question for Brendan when we were putting this together. It's like, so Brendan, if you had to come up with the weirding music for an MCC game, what would those be?
I think that it would be something like dubstep. It would be like, I can't say why exactly without giving away too much here, but it would be kind of a pastiche that would take sounds and sort of like reorganize them, speed them up, slow them down, and sort of like create a new thing by making a collage of extant music and also like ambient sounds. So it would definitely be weird. It would be, a collection of things that would definitely be recognizable as music. It would be organized. There would be passages to it, counterpoints, melody and whatnot. But I think it would have that kind of dubstep feel. It would have that kind of like, like sort of like very heavy industrial EMD. That makes sense.
I mean, there's no wrong answer to this question. unless the apocalypse does come, we all crawl out of the ruins, millions of years in the future, and we find out that it's actually BTS.
There are new rulers. We'll have to. We'll rally around Slim Whitman and see if we can't launch a counter assault. So,
all right. Well, so this was going to be released. I will let you know this will be coming out as a PDF first. There's a lot of the printing, our resources are kind of backed up, but we're going to release this as a PDF initially, and then at some point we'll actually have a physical version of it. So if you are looking to get people involved in MCC, it's a good way to get a good starting point. And somebody had a question about, will there be MCC player here flyers? We don't have anything currently planned, but that's always something that you can mention to the road crew, or being Goodman Games, if you designed a really cool one and said, hey, send this to info@Goodman Games, I'm sure that would be kind of things that people would be like, hey, that's pretty cool, and you would earn praise and whatever, but I'm not telling you to do work for free.
Well, there is a poster contest that's still going on right now. I'm not sure if it's too late to put in. Hopefully there's been some MCC entrants into the poster contest. I haven't actually gotten them yet, so hopefully we'll actually have some that'll be available soon. Hopefully.
All right. Well, there we go. So maybe there will be one coming, but no one that I don't know about currently. No. All right. So any final words of wisdom before I kick you off the show, Brendan?
Just thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for assigning me I loved working on that funnel. I'm very very fond of it, and every time I ran Zocast Mountain, I found myself very emotionally involved in the success of my players. I really wanted to see go on to the keep going, don't stop here, fine, go out there, save civilization. So have a lot of fun with it, and I hope everybody enjoys it, and just go roll some dice, have fun.
All right. Well, all right. So thank you very much, Brendan. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with my next guest. So stick around. Hey, everybody, we are back. And joining me this time is Daniel J. Bishop. And Daniel is on the show because he wrote this year's free RPG day for DCC from Goodman Games. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike. Glad to be here. Piercing the Demon's Eye.
Piercing the Demon's Eye. Yes, that is the title of this year's adventure. So let's just kind of start from the beginning. So aside from the fact that you got an email from me saying, Daniel, do you want to write this year's funnel? Where did this year's free RPG? Because it's not a funnel.
Nope, level 2.
It is not. It is so what is it? Let's start there.
It's a level 2 adventure. It is, I believe you referred to it as a death trap dungeon, in that there are a lot of ways to die. Lots of good things can happen too. It's not all bad, but the judge definitely has permission to punish the incautious.
It is a nod back to the kind of the classic,
Yes.
Right.
Very much like the early tournament modules that they used to do. There's a time limit, and there are a lot of things that can kill you, and there's a lot of treasure to be won.
Well, that's all the classic things they do any sort of old school dungeon experience. So
yes.
So where did I mean I think I know a couple of things personally, but what was the inspiration from this? Was there any particular old school or old classic tournament dungeons or tournament adventures that you were drawing upon with this, or did you
there is a little bit of a nod to the Ghost Tower of Inverness, which is the time limit and the way that it works, and there is a little nod to the Forbidden City in its initial setting, and there is a bit of a nod, I think, to the Tomb of Horrors, because of the nature of the dungeon itself.
Right. You can't do a death trap style dungeon, or at least a heavy trap dungeon, without taking some of that DNA. No,
I would definitely say so, but hopefully, I certainly think it is something different from all of those. There are a few appendices and nods for the those people who catch them, and we'll see who those are. For one thing, you are looking at the Vault of Morneth Ott, who is a wizard, and that is an anagram for those who can figure it out.
Okay.
Which is not really that hard.
So the first one who figures that out gets opponent. No, the first one who figures out gets all the bragging rights of being the first one to figure that out. So
gets 1 point of fleeting luck, usable only in the game that I'm running.
So this is having written the adventure, and having play tested it, obviously, it's like, what have you come away from it that you really enjoyed the most about this? Is there a particular encounter, or is it just anything you give without ruining the surprise for free RPG day?
There are a couple of points where players behave exactly like I thought they would, and they are really. One of them is a climactic encounter, so I don't want to get into it. But it's really gratifying knowing that the way that one writes a description can certainly affect the way players respond to what is being described. And also, I'm extremely fond of the encounter one.
Okay. All right.
I tried to do a Michael Curtis, actually, where when you start an adventure, you like to start it with a NVIDIA res initial encounter that could kill the party. So there you go. Party might not survive encounter one. And if they do, then you'll have further fun. Uh,
and if you're playing at a free RPG day, if you do die horribly in the first encounter, there's plenty of time to either shop more or go out and get lunch.
Yes. I will say that out of the times that I've run this, that first encounter has proved to be the most deadly.
Oh, okay. So word of wisdom. So yeah, Tim, my wife has already any hints to survive, at least survive the first few rooms. Apparently know that the first one is going to be a meat grinder. So.
Yeah, well, that's actually before you reach the first room. So there you
go. So cast magic shield early and often. That's it. That's it.
Powerful spell, good if you got it. The pre-gens, I don't think I gave them magic shield.
Oh, so okay. Well, then protect the cleric. Keep the cleric up. That's good. That's good advice, no matter what you're running, though. So.
Yeah. Well, the people who have died because they didn't work as a team.
No. So, oh man. So this is last year was Chances Dark was the DCC Day release, if I'm remembering correctly. So it was a free RPG day. Yes, I'm pretty sure that's right. Free RPG day was. I'm trying to remember which one that was, but I'm pretty sure that you did Chanters in the Dark was for the DCC Day. Was
yes.
that and the
that
other
is
one,
correct.
2-part one. So we have a little time. Do you? I think have you gotten? That's been out for a little while. Have you gotten any feedback about that? Have people been enjoying that?
I think people have enjoyed it pretty well. I've only gotten good feedback. Nobody said, "What the hell is this thing?" I have done some bits on Reddit where people have responded and said, "I'm getting ready to run this thing. Is there any advice you can give me?" And the largest advice is to have fun. Chances in the Dark was written in particular because people were asking, how do you transition from 0 level to first level?
Right.
And with Sailors on the Starless Sea being the most popular 0 level funnel, not really sure why. I've written several. That's a joke. I picked that one as a starting point, and tried to answer that question.
Right. No, I mean, it just, and I mean, it does make a perfect follow-up for it. Yeah. Just because if you, I think even more importantly now than it was, say, 10 years ago, I think we're definitely we've had some talks about this internally. It's just between the pandemic and kind of the missteps that Wizards has done, it feels like there are a lot more people who are getting involved into role playing with not with the only maybe 6 months to only a couple of years of experience at this point. I mean, they came in through 5e now, and now they're kind of reaching that part where I think any long-term gamer remembers is that that first embracing of that initial rule set, and then you play the heck out of that, and then after a while it doesn't become stale, but you feel like you've mastered this enough, and it's now time to start looking around for something else, or maybe it doesn't deliver. So it feels that people are now the numbers of people who have been embracing DCC have been definitely increasing. So people are playing for the first time. They're playing Sailors for the first time, and especially if you're talking with a background where people are used to kind of like the adventure path, structure and everything like that. They kind of expect there to be, like some sort of consistency or some sort of chronology of that. You can go from this adventure to the next one into that. And 10 years ago when DCC first came out, it was very episodic. It was supposed to be, we're all getting older. We don't have as much time to run games. So here's something you could do in 4 hours or 2 sessions or something like that and make your own campaign. But now people are like, okay, I think that one of the number one questions I see is, is this an adventure path? Can I play these all together? And I think,
I've seen that
was a perfect one for that. And,
what is really amazing? This community has grown exponentially. And nonetheless, it maintains itself as the best RPG community that I know of. Like, the people are fantastic. And we keep adding people, and they keep being fantastic.
Right. I'm in complete agreement with that. I mean, I think everybody who's been involved in kind of like a niche subculture or something like that, they kind of, like, all right, this is all cool, but like once it gets more exposure, that's when the jerks start coming in, or that's when people are, trying to,
Oh, I'm already here.
Well, some of us have been here. That Joe Goodman character, he's real sketchy,
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard. Brendan says it a lot.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, hey, it took him forever before we let him play. There was a reason he was over at the Fat Dragon booth for a longer time. We just only grudgingly let him come over and eat a salad with us. So
If you happen to be in Toronto on Free RPG Day, I will be running this at noon at the Sword and Board, which is on Brock Street near Dufferin Mall.
all right. So if you are in the Toronto area, or you can get to the Toronto area on Free RPG Day, which is there you go. So
it's coming up.
Yes, it is Saturday, June 24th. For those of you who don't know off the cuff, it is that day. We will be shipping out stuff to your friendly local game stores. I know we have some of the list of the participants on the Goodman Games website, but there's also the Free RPG Day I think it's freerpgday.com, the website of the organization behind all this. I think they have the list as well. So but it's always a good idea. It's always a good idea if you're unsure to call ahead of time or email or hit up on social media or something, like, just to make sure that your friendly local game store is participating, especially if your friendly local game store is several miles away. So I know some people do. Yes. They do the thing every year where I have to drive an hour and a half to get to my free local game store that participating. And it's worth noting that although we're participating in free RPG Day and we will have stuff available out there, if you cannot get to a Free RPG Day store, or the location by you isn't participating or something like that, later in the year, as we always do, we will have titles available. We'll have the surplus stuff available through the Goodman Games store, and usually you just pay shipping on that. So if you can't make it, don't fret. We'll do our best to hook you up. No.
But if you can make it and you are at the store I am running, I will take every single person who comes in.
There you go. So that's even if you run out, even if you have more than 8, because we only have 8 pre-gens.
Even if I have more than 8, if I have to run it in shifts, I will.
Okay. All right. So you don't want to table with 16 players where everybody has like duplicates.
Oh no, I'll be like that chess player with a board here and a board there and a board there. I'll just shift my chair to each one and they'll all have a chance to play. And then when table listen over and go like, oh God, let's don't do that.
You would just point a caller for each table.
No, what I mean is each table will be able to hear the mistakes made by other tables and make their own.
So all right. Well, so I'm excited for it. I think this is going to be well received. It's one which it's got basically everything you can ask for. It's got fights. It's got puzzling. It's got figuring out like, okay, how to avoid this, how to avoid dying a horrible death. So it's
yeah, but even those fights tend to have a bit of a puzzle element. So it is, I would say, a thinking person's dungeon, but that is an overused phrase. So I will just say it'll kill some people.
It rewards those who pay attention.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you could say that.
All right. So that is good. So I think this is going to be another good one, especially since the way that you have this one set up. This can be kind of inserted into any campaign at any time.
Yes.
And you, as you said, there's a time limit on it. So if this is,
it's also a really good setup for a quest for it. Like if there is some object that they are looking for, it's pre-built in. You could easily slot that object in.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. A long time ago, I proposed the idea of that you could turn the Tomb of Horrors into the kind of the central goal of the campaign, and you turn the entire campaign into a heist movie. So like at first level, they find out that the Tomb of Horrors exists, and whatever they're after, that big thing that's there. And then like the rest of the campaign is like, okay, we need to find like a wand of trap detection. Well, there's a guy who has one, but we have to go, like putting all the adventure parts together and have the equivalent of like a surveillance van with some guy tapping into it. I mean, not quite that far, but I mean,
Alternatively, I've been at Gary Con where Tomb of Horrors is being run as a 0-level funnel.
Yes, I mean, technically it could be run as any level funnel.
Yes, it's a funnel either way.
It'll done kill you good,
Now this is not quite as deadly. It's not like sneeze and die.
No. So yes, Tim L. White he's actually got callbacks to speaking of death traps, Arwich Grinder and Prince Charming Reanimator. So he's got some kind words to say to you about that. So
Prince Charming Reanimator was just on Grave Ape Cereavers, the first TPK.
Oh, okay.
And Arwich Grinder, despite the name, is not really a meat grinder. You can survive that. I've had parties like almost come out unscathed. I've had them all die too, but that one really can vary based upon what you do. And so can this, like, go out really rich, go out, well, you might never come out.
Okay. So all right, so pay attention. So yeah, the things we learn here is okay. Pay attention to stuff because it might reward you. Be very careful during the first encounter. It could be a little rough, and
watch the clock.
Watch the clock. I was gonna say it's like there's a time limit, and bad things might happen if you're still sticking around when the clock runs out. So all right. Well, any closing words of wisdom about either this adventure or life or anything else, Daniel, before we
closing words of wisdom. Thanks for the opportunity. I think everyone will enjoy this, and I would just like to give a shout out to my dad, who just came out of the hospital today. So, good job recovering.
All right, good job, Mr. Bishop. No,
we're Mr. Loxo. So,
oh, I'm sorry. No,
it is a long, convoluted story that we have no time for here.
I assumed, and so my fault. All right,
no worries.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Bishop, the one I am speaking to, for showing up and hanging out with us and getting people excited for free RPG today. So remember, if you're in the Toronto area, what's the name of the store that you're going to be playing at?
Sword and Board.
Board and Board. Okay. So
Sword and Board. Just like the dwarf.
Right. And if you're in the anybody who has some SEA heritage, you bring your Sword and Board card for an extra no% discount. So all right. So thank you very much, and we'll be out. We're going to take a break now, and I'll be back with my final guest for this evening. So stick around. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Here we are again with my third guest of the evening, someone who's been on the show before, Mr. Skeeter Green. Skeeter.
Hey, how's it going?
Well, it's going pretty good. I mean, maybe not quite as good as some people, because I mean, you were, well, despite the fact that apparently they came and repossessed all the stuff in your office while nobody was looking.
Gone. The evil spirits finally took some of their stuff back. I don't know if that's good or bad. There's actually an echo in this room. It is so empty. It's freaking me out.
Well, hopefully that echo won't be too long, because if all goes well, you will have shelves and shelves of Underland Part 1 once it's all printed. So I already asked you to, actually, you said, can I come on the show? I said sure. All
right. I did. I was begging a lot of people.
I know, it's just because I know I would see Skeeter, and it's just terrible to see him weep in public.
It's definitely a sight.
What's the deal? Why are you here? Talk about Underland Part 1. No.
So actually, it touches on a lot of the things that you were talking to Daniel about earlier. I wanted less of a new setting, and I wanted to sort of show people how they could take bits and pieces from different campaigns, different published adventures, and just mix them together. Because I think that's a lost art for a lot of people that aren't familiar with DCC and MCC, is sometimes they don't know that they can crack a setting open, pull the parts out, and just Frankenstein's monster something together. One of the things that I want to bring back to my products is I want it to be a surprise. I don't want to have the standard, you're hitting point A, B, C, D. Very well done. You had mentioned the adventure path types. Those, I mean, I'm sure some people use the whole thing. That would drive me nuts. just having this ongoing lengthy script. I don't have a home campaign, so I don't get to play face to face. I only get to play at conventions and run games for people there. So I think in 4-hour blocks. So I think about, in Underland, there is a starting adventure to kind of get your feet wet, dip your beak in here a little bit, and it can be run in 4 hours.
Okay.
It's also expandable because once you're underground, it starts to get into those things. We've all been playing D&D for so many years, tombs and everything are just underground, but when you actually get underground and you go spelunking, that's a whole different world, man. You get mentally freaked out. I put mechanics for claustrophobia in here.
Skeeter, I'm going to stop you for 1 second here. They said before we get too far underground, let's reel back and give the 1 mile above view, because there's people out there who have no idea what Underland Part 1 is or anything. So what is Underland Part 1 besides your current Kickstarter? What is it? What is it?
So
what's the elevator
Underland Underland is a 32-page digest size book, so it's one of the little boys. It contains an adventure where the PCs get into a small little village. They figure out there's a problem, and there are several problems going on that are eventually linked, and the link is underground.
Okay.
and once you get to the underground, everything else in the multiverse is connected underground. So if you're in a tunnel and you go around a dark corner and follow another tunnel, you could end up, like, if you start out playing DCC characters, you could bump into some place from the Forgotten Realms.
Okay.
2nd edition D&D.
Right.
Or if you burrow up from being underground, you could show up in the middle of a Boot Hill gunfight. Or, I wanted to take things and make it unusual. And I didn't want to write a setting that was like Alice in Wonderland on LSD, even more than it is.
Right.
Because there's so much excellent published material out there. I mean, I would love somebody to take the beginning of Underland and weave in a Mike Curtis adventure or a Brendan Lasalle adventure or Dan Bishop adventure in the same thing. And it seems weird because some people drag their feet and don't want to do it. Oh, I can't world build. Okay, so take the world building out. Don't make them connected. Just make it fun. Go around a corner and, like, oh my God, there's a Ferris wheel underground.
Right.
Just that I'm trying to bring back the surprise for players.
So there was the old concept. There used to be like the tent pole dungeon. Like there was the dungeon that like that props of the entire campaign. This is like the spine adventure. This is the thing that you can, like, it's the Christmas tree adventure because it's the central tree that it sounds like you can hang anything else you want on, and will help support all that, and you kind of build up out of that. So rather than an uninteresting tent pole, you got something you can decorate at home and to the style that you want.
Yeah, exactly. One of the ways that I've had to describe it to other game designers that I've talked to about it is it's a campaign collector. It's a setting collector. So if you loved playing, we'll say Undermountain, that can exist in the same world as Castle Greyhawk. There's
Right.
no reason it can't. And if you're weirded out about it above ground where people see it, okay, we're down in the basements or the sewers or whatever. All of that gets connected. And it's just basically up to your creativity.
All right. So this is kind of this is kind of a refreshing your palate, take a step back after the Valley Out of Time. This was kind of like
Yeah.
you're kind of like, all right, I've done that for a little while now. It's to do something maybe a little more not more interesting, but a little more compact. But as you said, like I'm setting something up, I don't have to worry about necessarily all the finite details. I don't have to
Right.
develop that entire setting. I can design something on that. So no.
Exactly. I'm trying to make this more of a toolkit than kind of I don't want to say hand holding because that's kind of a jerky thing to do, but yeah, like you were saying with the some of the newer players who came in from 5th edition and are now checking out other games. Maybe they don't have the experience or the depth or even the confidence to say, oh yeah, I can weave these different inspirations together. This is something that kind of helps show you how you can do it.
Right, right. And I think that is kind of necessary to some level of this, because I think it used to be more common. I mean, it definitely used to be more like mashing genres together and that sort of stuff. I mean, like gamers of a certain age, they know Expedition to the Barrier Peak, so they know I mean, just the things where they weren't afraid to kind of like like Earthshaker, like things where you take different stuff and kind of mash them together. Where I think the like Wizards, for example, has kind of fallen away from that. They have that very much. They have they when you're trying to address like a huge slice of the market, you want to make sure you hit as big of that market as possible. So but
Right, exactly.
us smaller people, us weirder people can be like, okay, you've got that covered. We'll do it. Meanwhile, we've got we've got weird stuff going on underground here. So
Yeah, that's I equate it to some of my non-gamer people as RPGs are pizza. Everybody has their flavor that they like. And you can get really weird with pizza. You can have, barbecued artichokes and pineapple flake orange slices or whatever, on your pizza. I mean, I love that nobody can see Brendan's face because he's just going crazy right now. But yeah, and Wizards of the Coast with some of their 5e books, and I know this is going to be unpopular, it's cheese pizza. It has to apply to the widest margin. So that's pretty plain. I've been playing D&D for 45 years. Figured that out recently and am very unhappy that I am that old. But I've seen a lot of stuff over the years. I've seen some really good stuff. I've seen some really bad stuff. But the stuff that sticks with me that I like the least is just boring, uninteresting. And I try to avoid that. And I want to help people make memorable campaigns. I mean, that's the whole thing.
Right. Right. I mean, and as I was kind of leading things off, is that when I say that there are a lot of gamers who are just discovering DCC and they don't have that experience or anything, I said that's not a judgment. That's just a judgment call. It's just
no.
I mean, it's just they haven't been experienced to that, and there may be people who get experience to that and they decide that's not for them, and that's perfectly fine. But there are also people, unless they get the chance to like, oh wait, you can do this, right? There is nothing that's going to say there's no show Bible that says we can't have this show up on this or we can't mash these genres together. And I think that's one of the reasons that DCC has gains the popularity that is, because people are discovering that. It's like, okay, you can have cavemen and robots in the same adventure, and that works
exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's like the Brendan's background. Everybody rewind the Twitch and watch Brendan's background. He's got dinosaurs and spaceships and all kinds of weird stuff on his background. Looks like a dude in a blender. I don't know what's going on over there. But that's the thing. I don't know what's happening there.
Mm.
I want to investigate that. That is interesting to me.
Right. All right. So this is Underland part 1, which assumes that there will at least be a part 2. How big are you planning right now? Is it or is it like many things to be determined, up in the air?
Right now, it is to be determined. I notionally have probably 4 parts. One of the things that I wanted to do specifically with this one is I didn't want to just force a bunch of gunk into these books and put them out. I want to have that aha moment and put really quality stuff in this. So I'm going to imagine it is not going to come out more than twice a year.
Okay.
Part 1 will be this year. There will not be another one this year. Too much other stuff going on. But next year there could be a couple, and I've heard all the complaints on Kickstarter about how it's going to cost a whole bunch more to do it in parts and save it all for one book. And I'm like, that could be a very long time.
Right.
I don't know yet. Right. I don't have a production schedule. So right now, this is a standalone book. The adventure that's in it can be played to its entirety. It gives some random tables to expand the area. It adds a few rules, so the book itself is self-contained.
That sounds good, man. So and yeah, I mean, I get the the I want it and I want it now, but I also get the fact is that well, if I charge it right now, I've seen more than one Kickstarter get scuttled because they charge for everything up front, and then by the time it came around, it was like, well, shipping alone killed them, because
right.
Who knows what the shipping cost will be next year or anything else is going on. So yeah.
I used to work for an RPG company that sold a subscription one time, and no thank you. Not going to do that. That did not work out well. You can't promise something that is ephemeral like that.
Mm-hmm. So this one is written for DCC and MCC. Is that just using the basic fact that MCC and DCC are pretty much compatible as is, or is there was there yet another reason for that other than it was just the kind of the you can add multiple settings to this?
It's the multiple setting thing. When I was running a home campaign, I let all the CC characters play. So we had MCC characters right next to DCC characters, and it worked fine. The challenges are manageable, and the power creep is not that significant when you're pummeling them constantly anyway. Everybody kind of pulps at the same speed. So yeah, it just worked out. And again, it just makes it so you don't automatically know what's going to happen. It can be used using either rule set, or it can be used using a combination.
Okay, gotcha. I had to ask.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
With as what we were talking about, there's nothing wrong with mashing genres together. So there's no. I mean, I played at North Texas ran at North Texas long ago, the Great Stonehill Laser Massacre, which was which was like post-apocalyptic characters coming into the because we've done the other one. We've done where the fantasy go on the spaceship, but at that point we hadn't been basically the technological people go into the dungeon and massacre kobolds with maser rifles.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just for inspiration, one of my favorite movies of all time is Planet of the Apes. It's exactly what happens.
Right.
I mean, space people land, and these beast men are the enemies, or they're not the enemies. That's a great scenario.
Yeah. Except the fact that it's been ruined.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it was fine back in 1960, whatever, but
yeah, everything gets ruined over time.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
very little gets better. Entropy doesn't work that way.
if you're watching the show and for some reason you don't know the end of Planet of the Apes, go watch it right now. Just turn on
Oh,
the
I'm
show.
so
Go
sorry.
watch it now before somebody ruins it for you, right?
I mean, it's only what, 60 years old? I'm sorry I spoiled that.
No, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Yeah.
Charlton Heston comes around, and then there's a giant sled named Rosebud rising up out of the ocean, right? That's
That I totally did not expect that.
that's right.
That's what I'm talking about. Make it interesting.
All right. Well, best of luck on the Kickstarter, Skeeter.
Thank you
And
much.
who's coming out, and and you're not going to be at Gen Con this year? I know sometimes I run into you this is, sometimes I don't. So
It's always a mystery when
Right.
we're going to bump into each other. No, I'm not going to Gen Con. It is too much for me.
Okay, got you.
It's so extra.
and somebody's got to keep building on their house.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the ghosts of the Winchester murder victims will come and kill you in your sleep. Right?
Yeah. See that guy behind me? I can't do this backwards.
They come and stole everything
that,
out of your
that was somebody who got mouthy.
Somebody
So I'm not going to be that guy anymore.
Underland. All right. Well, thank you very much, Skeeter, and best of luck. And we're going to take a quick break, and then I'll come back to wrap up the show. So,
Thank you, guys.
Hey, everybody! Thank you for sticking around to the end of the show. Boy, I'm tired. So I hope however, with me and my guests, were entertaining enough to keep you tuned in. And now's the payoff. So here's what's coming down the DCC pike for in the near future. So first of all, remember Saturday, June 24th. That's Free RPG Day. As I said, you can check the Goodman Games site, check the freerpg.com, and see if a local store is running. If for some reason you are not able to get involved, there will later on this year there'll be extras, and so we'll hook you up one way or the other. So well, that's that. We've got some more dice heading your way. These, however, these are the sets which are direct from Impact. These are the 14 set opaque dice. They're not the ones that necessarily that we have the insert and this is something I'm learning. If you didn't know this yet, the kind of the official DCC branded dice that we sell, that has an insert inside. If you open the insert, there's stuff in there. There's game content, because I'm seeing more and more people are just like, I opened this thing up and there's like game stuff in here. Yeah, we will have to really do a better job of publicizing that. It was just like, I guess somewhere along the lines we just figured people would figure it out. So there it is. So yeah, these are, however, not the ones without the with the insert, but they are some fabulous looking colors. If you've not checked out the Goodman-Games.com web store, look under dice, because there's a whole bunch of stuff in there that you probably didn't even know was there, and there's going to be 2 more sets at least coming on that. Awesome stuff from Impact Managers, our favorite dice company. For speaking of stuff appearing on the website, on the website later this month, warehouse finds. Apparently somebody's been digging around back in the warehouse again, and there's going to be some more stuff which you're digging out. I hear rumor of these might be stuff that I don't know. There might be stuff that fell off a truck from the Kickstarter, or just didn't get shipped, or got bounced back, or something like that. So can't promise you what's going to be on there, but there will be an announcement, and maybe there's a chance to get something that you weren't able to get to because you weren't on Kickstarter or something. I don't know. Woo-hoo. So good stuff coming your way. So that being said, also for those of you who weren't in the UK or have not heard recently, we have finally kind of cracked this whole shipping stuff, at least for one small section of the globe, and we're working to expand it. But there is we now have a UK game store. We have a distribution partner over there, and we are going to be sending stuff over there. And factually, right now, you can get through the UK game store, you can get Weird Frontiers. So if you are over there in the UK, and as we discovered the UK Game Fair, you guys love the Weird Frontiers. You love the 6 guns. I don't know. You'd love. I think we could have just shipped Dave Beatty over there, and y'all would have been happy with him. That's So yeah. So there's a chance to get your hands on it if you've not been able to get to it. And DCC Dying Earth should also be appearing in there in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So if you missed out on the Kickstarter and you were in the UK, use your chance to do that. And one last other thing, special thing for the UK folks, to christen the UK Game Store, we have a special set of dice, UK owned, partially designed by our man Brendan LaSalle, but also with the helps of Bruce Cunnington, who was there to kind of flesh it out for us. So that should be in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Should be up. There is one more week left on the Langbar bundle of holding, and so if you've not checked out and you're looking to get that stuff, stop by the Goodman Games site and you'll be able to find that there. And I'm going to drop something in the chat right now. And this is a little something called the Xcrawl Classic Kickstarter preview page. So those of you who are currently watching this right now, you can feel free to click on that and see what's going on out there. So yeah, baby, Xcrawl Classics. We've been promising for many years, and we're really close to pushing the big button and setting it happen. So there you go, baby. So all right. I think that's about it. Remember, next month, DCC Day, Saturday. There was some miscommunication with that. Saturday, July 22nd. So go and check your calendar, make sure you got the right day on there. And if your friendly local game store has not signed up they're running out of time. We still have DCC Day kits available, but we are close to selling out. So by all means, if you want your friendly local game store to participate, now's the time to step up the nagging, make it happen. We can't force them to run it. Only yours can do it. So all right. And I think that's it. I think that wraps us up for June. It's going to be a little while. We've got an Origins between now and then. But hopefully by the time we're back from Origins, we'll be ready to kick things off with Xcrawl Classics. And I'm sure we'll be talking more about that hopefully next month on the Maw of Mike. So thank you, everybody. And until next time, stay Mawesome. All right, that's it. We're out of here. Elena, take us home.